Executing that Project 2025 strategy with Donald Trump's approval, Elon Musk wants federal workers to sing for their supper. Last night, federal workers received an email asking them to summarize their work from last week. Yes, this is what happened. The unelected billionaire, he actually posted on his social media site, quote, "Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation." Just last week, Musk referenced his federal workforce purge by bringing a chainsaw on stage at the Conservative Political Action Conference known as CPAC. As for the president, he called Musk a patriot during his speech at CPAC yesterday and promised more mass firings. Overnight, we also heard from former Vice President Kamala Harris. She spoke at the NAACP Image Awards last night in Los Angeles, reminding us the power is with the people.
While we have no illusions about what we are up against in this chapter in our American story, this chapter will be written not simply by whoever occupies the Oval Office, nor by the wealthiest among us. The American story will be written by you. Written by us, by we the people.
And joining more of us today, we the people, is Corey Brett Schneider, professor of political science at Brown University. He's the author of The Presidents and the People, 5 Leaders Who Threatened Democracy and the Citizens Who Fought to Defend It. Also with us here in D.C. is Heath Mayo, founder of Principles First. And Heath, y'all had a very interesting gathering yesterday over the weekend. I'm looking at all the clips, I'm like, Principles First, they've been outside. Chris Christie.
Rocking and rolling.
Now right? Chris Christie, he's saying some things.
That's right. It's a great gathering over there. We got a packed house at the Marriott, and people from all over the country. I mean, people are frustrated, right? I mean, there's just chaos after chaos. It hasn't been too long, but there's already been, it seems like, a year's worth of nonsense coming out of this White House. So people, I mean, I think people have, after November, have kind of caught their breath and are ready to jump back into this fray, because I think that's what it's going to take.
Corey, I want to start with you on this idea that the government is our enemy. Your book talk about, presidents who have been a threat to our democracy. Some would argue we're living through that now, particularly when you consider what Trump had to say at CPAC yesterday regarding government firings. Let's take a quick listen.
We have a very corrupt group of people in this country, and we're finding them out. We're removing all of the unnecessary, incompetent, and corrupt bureaucrats from the federal workforce. That's what we're doing. We want to make government smaller, more efficient. We want to keep the best people, and we're not going to keep the worst people.
So the best people are only the people that suck up to Donald Trump. Let's just be straight up about that. What's your assessment of what we see happening in this purge, and now this nonsensical email from Elon Musk acting like we're in kindergarten? Tell us what you did last week. I've seen some very creative responses to that email over the last 24 hours. How do you assess this moment in the assault on the federal government by this president?
It is an assault. The idea of American democracy is that we're governed by laws, and those laws are carried out by members of the civil service who take an oath, like the president, to preserve and protect the Constitution of the United States and to execute the law. And yet what this president wants to do is to replace that idea of democracy with one of total loyalty, not to the law, not to the Constitution, not to the idea of the United States, but to him. And that's really what this is about. This isn't about efficiency. It isn't about getting people to do their jobs. It's certainly not about ferreting out corruption. It's about taking people who are willing to enforce the law and replacing them with those who will simply do the bidding of the president, regardless of whether or not it complies with the law or not.
Let's talk about those emails that were sent from the Office of Personal Management. They were shared with NBC News. They asked employees to send approximately 5 bullet points listing what they accomplished this week, CCing their managers. They set a deadline of Monday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Notably, FBI Director Kash Patel instructed employees to pause any response to the email. State Department employees were told to do the same because, you know, you wouldn't want FBI secrets and State Department secrets in emails that then could be widely circulated. Will their incompetence be their undoing?
I think so. Look, these guys don't really know what's going on. You know, they think they're cute. They think they're trolling. They think that this is an exercise in government by, you know, meme. And they think it's a real funny joke that these emails are being circulated and they're getting out there. And really, I think their aim is just to belittle federal workers. You know, they come at this from the idea that these men and women who work in the FBI, who have given their lives of service to this country, are just sitting around doing nothing, that they aren't actually serving the country. That's how they think about these people that are serving our country. It's disgusting, quite frankly. It's indignant. It's insulting. And, you know, federal workers, you know, I don't know how they're going to really step through this, honestly. I feel for them. I don't know how you respond to an email like that. And certainly, to your point, the threat to classified information leaking out. I mean, you basically would have to just say, one, you know, redacted, two, redacted. I mean, you'd have to redact everything you're working on for some of these people. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
It makes zero sense. That's why State Department employees were told by an ambassador in an email the department would respond on employees' behalf and that no employee is obligated to report their activities outside of their department chain of command. I guess you know, can we play what Vice President Harris had to say? Obviously, she was not responding to the firings, but I think this notion that we all in this moment, people across the country, particularly if you work in the federal government, you know, must be vigilant, need to step up. People are having to make very hard decisions. They really just want to go to work and do their jobs, yet they're now being thrust into all these different directions. I feel like what she had to say about liberty was important here.
Of what they accomplished last week. Now, in his post on Twitter, Musk said people who failed to answer the message would lose their jobs. But the email itself didn't include that threat. Confused already? Same here. I'm also confused. And same with most of the federal workforce. Now, we should be clear about something. Elon Musk has zero legal authority to fire government employees or force their resignations. These people don't report to Elon Musk. They report to heads of their agencies. And the heads of agencies are, in some cases, telling them not to respond. As Sam Stein of The Bulwark reported, basically every federal employee he talked to last night said their agency head encouraged them not to respond to the Musk email. That even included the new Trump sycophant at the top of the FBI, Kash Patel, who told FBI employees not to respond. So Elon Musk says email back or resign, and heads of agencies say don't respond. Got it. And what about people who just can't access their email right by tomorrow's deadline? What about them? The Washington Post noted one example of people in the Defense Department who are on tours of duty in remote or inaccessible locations and cannot check their emails. What happens to them if they don't respond by Monday night? Who knows? And I'm sure it hasn't been thought about. What about the people who are too sketched out to respond? One employee at the Commerce Department told Politico, this email looks exactly like all of the phishing email examples that federal employees see in training. I'm not responding to it. Again, another example of total chaos, all caused by unelected Doge guy Elon Musk. And again, he has no legal authority here. What this looks like is a very clear effort by the richest man in the world to either intimidate or demoralize, or both, the entire federal government into leaving their jobs. Joining me now is Robert Reich. He's the former Secretary of Labor. He served in government for more than 2 decades across 3 administrations. Thank you so much for being here. I want to talk about your viral tweet in a moment, but I first wanted to just ask you, you have managed a department, you have been a defender of workers for so many years. What do you make of this email that went out to federal workers, and what do you think Elon Musk is trying to do here?
It's very hard to know, Jen, what Elon Musk is trying to do, but he is sowing chaos, and he is also doing it in an extraordinarily condescending way, treating civil servants, people who have dedicated their lives to the United States, who have pledged allegiance to the United States, who are working for all of us, treating them like school children. This is the richest man the richest person in the world, who has no formal government authority whatsoever. He has never been confirmed. Nobody has seen his conflicts of interest. Nobody has seen, and anything has been vetted. And he, on his own, I mean, that email came from him. It was put on his own platform, which he purchased, X, for $44 billion, telling federal workers what they have to do. Well, if this is not a takeover of the federal government of the United States, I don't know what is.
You just mentioned.
So, folks, Trump's own leadership is ignoring him and his dumb buddy Elon. Remember, this was Elon's words. So I guess he can call himself a liar if he wants. Elon said that under the orders of Donald Trump, because at least he's pretending like Trump is still making the shots, right? Because Trump hates the ego blow. So Elon is making it very clear. On behalf of Donald Trump, I am ordering people to send me a weekly email updating on their progress. Hundreds of thousands of them they're going to go through every week, apparently. And if I don't get one from you, then it's a guarantee that you've resigned and you'll be fired if you don't send me this letter. But this is causing chaos because it's insane. There's no real way to actually go through these letters. 2, this is a terrible waste of resources, right? They're already firing workers that matter. Frankly, maybe this is unpopular with conservatives or moderates even, but the federal service should be much bigger. There should be less private companies and more government ownership in a democratic society. For example, all medicine should be produced, like Liz Warren had a plan, that all generic medicine should be produced by a government-owned entity that will do it on a need basis, not on a profit basis. So there's already useful workers being fired. But even if you're a conservative that are like, okay, we've gotten rid of the useless workers, now let's take the ones that we kept and waste their time every week. But you even see it, this is crazy, even Kash Patel, new guy at the FBI, Kash Patel and the FBI agents are basically saying, no, this is dumb. So you already have Kash Patel in open revolt against Donald and Elon, and it's only been a month, and for Kash, it's only been like 4 days that he got confirmed, right? It's been less than a week. This is chaos.